Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another cast. Guys, today I am bringing you something that has never been done ever before on my channel because it hasn't even been possible. I am bringing you a juicy 5v5 game of Escalation. Now guys, this kind of cast should not be possible. The replayer is not supposed to work in 5v5, right? But I have made the impossible possible. I have finagled with this thing all night. I have spent hours messing with this replayer system just to bring you this juicy game content so that you could enjoy this match. We could enjoy this match together. We could watch this epic brawl. A 5v5, and I know for a fact that this game absolutely goes the distance. This game is going to be an absolute banger, and the first time I've ever cast this size game of Escalation on my channel, it's just going to be insane. I do know this game is epic because I haven't watched the whole thing, but I've watched it far enough to make sure that the replay works. Guys, this game, because of the things I had to do to get the replay work, I cannot speed it up or slow it down. We have to watch it all at normal speed, and the game goes on for a long time. I mean, we're talking about the T3 and T4 phase of Escalation. So I hope you are as excited as I am because, man, what I had to do to get this replay to work is crazy. And there may be some things kind of happening on the screen that are a little confusing. Just ignore that. The game is going to play out mostly exactly as it did. The outcome will be the same in the end. But, man, this is so exciting. I can't believe I even got this thing to work. I promise you this game is going to be an absolute joy to watch. So please strap yourself in, get ready, and get your favorite drink, your favorite junk food, whatever else you do, and prepare yourself for what is probably going to be one of the most epic casts that I have ever done. Now, already here in the first 3 minutes, Walker with an early bomber. And, yeah, that's pretty good by Walker. Good bombing runs early on. Never a bad thing in a 5v5. Man, guys, I am so hyped about this. I've never casted a 5v5 on my channel. This is such a cool opportunity for me and for all of you. Typically, 4v4 is the biggest type game you can cast. Now, it looks like Walker is bombing nothing, but actually he is bombing the mexes of the light blue player who is not shown. But guys, this does resolve itself later on in the replay, so don't worry about that. Just pretend there is a player here being bombed by walkers. Very impressive Thunder Micro. But yeah, nonetheless, this game goes the distance. And not only does it go the distance, I have heard that our boy EXE, the Russian legend, plays a star role in this particular game. So I am super hyped to see what all of that consists of. Mr. Elianos already sending some Jeffies down to try and get some economic damage done. He's done a little bit so far, but Deus Ex Machina with a few AKs. But after this, I do need to introduce the players. Walker already with a second bombing run, doing a nice job here. I like the micro, but it does seem like EXE with some nice air defense. You can't out-bomb EXE. This man will punish you for your aerial supremacy. But here, Lemminkainen in orange, getting his own harassment done. EXE sort of getting sandwiched by multiple players. It can't feel good early on to get focused by the enemy team. But after this little skirmish ends, I do want to talk more about the map, because I don't think I've ever cast a game on this map, Artificial Lakes. I like that it's a huge, like, obviously team game style map, but it's also very open. Typically on these big 5v5 maps, there's some natural choke point that all the units get funneled through. And I don't know, I think that kind of creates for boring, stale, trench warfare style games. So this map is so much more open. Of course, there are the lakes there to create a bit of natural terrain features and obstacles, but overall it's very open. And so I think this game will lead to all kinds of dynamic gameplay and skirmishes and interesting moments, especially because the game is going to go on for 2 hours, my friends. I'm sure you can see that by the length of the video. It's not as though I'm telling you some kind of secret here. This one goes the distance. And I'm so excited I got it to work. I can't believe this replay is actually working at all. Let me introduce the players. I'm just babbling way too much. Here in pink, Deus Ex Machina went core first. The commander is kind of hidden. There he is. In yellow, of course, are Russian Legend EXE. In green, Stagnation. I think in light blue this was TA Nostalgic. I can't say for sure. But anyway, pretend there's a player here. Okay, just ignore that. Ignore the man behind the curtain. Everything's fine. There's a player here. He's doing whatever. In blue, we have Bully. In red, we have Gully. In light green, we have TA Nostalgic. In purple, as mentioned before, we have Walker, who has reclaimed his aircraft plant and has now gone into K-Bot spam. And in brown, we have Elianos, who also seems to have gone air. And finally, one of our channel favorites, Mr. Lemminkainen. But once again, the enemy team focusing EXE. They probably know we can't let the Russian legend just do whatever he wants. It is just not acceptable. So it sort of feels like many different players giving EXE a hard time. Now Brown with his flashes moving down here. EXE in a difficult spot. Well, he just keeps getting raided. But sending some Pee-wees up. But as you can see, he's losing a ton of mexes. A lot of eco going down the drain for a poor Russian player. And unfortunately, the eco graft here is also broken as a result of the things I had to do to get this to work. But I can promise you, EXE's economy is the worst in the game right now at this moment. EXE not doing so great economically, so we will have to see what he does. He is building a light laser tower up here, but now Lemminkainen focusing his construction K-bots. And look at how they're just ignoring pink and green. EXE just getting focused here. This is a terrible situation. I think if I was in this game, I'd start getting a little ragey, like, you know, stop targeting me, please. I don't like... Let me play the game. There's 4 other players on my team that you can focus. Why do you have to target me like this? I don't like this. But nonetheless, EXE does manage to repel that with the help of his teammates a little bit. And one thing I will say, so look at this. Green has almost no defense at all. I mean, Green's just kind of walking through Green's base, and excuse me, Orange was walking through Green's base and seeing that he's teching to T2 now. And I think because of that, Brown perhaps seeing an opportunity to bomb a T2 factory. If he was paying attention, he should see Green's building that very close to his geothermal. That would be a great bombing target if our Brown player wants to go there. And no. Brown's like, oh, Screw the juicy geothermal and the T2 advanced vehicle plant. Let's just harass EXE some more. Let's just target this guy into oblivion. Oh, you can tell they're afraid of EXE, man. I don't believe that Brown did not see that geothermal and T2 vehicle plant just sitting there. They just want to bomb EXE back into the Stone Age. This poor freaking guy. Everyone and their mother targeting our poor Russian legend. I have to tell you, at this point, I'd be ready to just leave the game. I'd be like, wow, this... Poor EXE doesn't have a mex to his name. He has one. So, man, that is so funny. Look at this. Perfectly juicy targets. Very little air defense. And I'm sure Brown knew that was there, but he's like, nah, I just want to bomb EXE. Screw this man. He's been the cause of my nightmares long enough. So EXE already, at the start of this game, suffering tons of abuse and punishment from the enemy team that he does not deserve and did not ask for. But don't you worry, my friends. I'm sure he will get his revenge, Mr. EXE. Not to be counted out. I've said it many times, many casts in the past. Do not count this man out. But let's check out the player bases. Goalie on T2 K-Bots now. And dark green on T2 as well. So everyone will be teching to T2. I think in a 5v5 game, it almost never ends on the T1 phase. Of course, I haven't cast a 5v5 game, but I've played in many of them. Even in 4v4 games, it almost never ends on the T1 phase. Like, something has to have gone horribly, horribly wrong for the game to end that early. So, yeah, everyone will be transitioning to T2. That's nothing out of the ordinary. But the northern team is by far, I think, in a better position. They have certainly focused EXE. He's probably the only player now that has not made it to T2 at the 12-minute and 30-second mark. Only defending with some peewees. But we've seen in the past, EXE can make the peewees work way longer than they should. But now using his commander as a bludgeoning tool, he will try to degun these Panthers. They will shift just outside of his range. But I think Pink has enough here to stop this. These two Panthers. Now shifting left. EXE bringing the peewees to stop all of this shenanigans. Oh my god. I am so excited. This replay already delivering. Already so much epic gameplay. This Panther feels unkillable. It will finally die. But now Green attempting his own counterattack. There's so much going on. 5v5 games are absolutely chaotic. This is an insane situation. There are skirmishes happening all over the map. And like I said, I love this map design. I love the fact that there are not these easy choke points you can make. I mean, obviously you can use the lakes and build small choke points, but they can just go around the lakes, or they can build hovercrafts, go over the lakes, or use submersible units and go under the water, walk on the lake floor. But Lemminkainen, with some well-timed Reapers, he will find Pink's Geo before EXE can get his Zeus's, his Zeus, over to the east side and stop this. Very nicely done by Lemminkainen. Again, Lemminkainen never failing to impress me in these big team games. He just seems to macro extremely well, but also make great decisions in terms of his unit compositions and attack timings. So very nicely done there. And looks like Walker did run a command to see if everyone is caught up, which it does seem to be that they are. But Brown, with some decent fighter micro, there is not much air defense left here after Lemminkainen moving down with a nice squad of Reapers and getting some economic damage done. So, yeah, so EXE asking Deox to go air, but see, Deox does not appear. I kind of feel that this was Deoxide, this Phantom player. It's kind of difficult to tell, guys, because once you're in the game, like, I am essentially taking the place of one of the players. So that's why we don't see this player for now. I think this may have been Deoxide, and that's why EXE is asking him to build air. But nonetheless, as I said later on, this will resolve itself. As EXE will take the base of whichever player this was, which I assume is Deoxide. I can't say for sure, but I think it probably was. If EXE is asking Deoxide to help. So nonetheless, even though we can't see this player, this is just a temporary bug that will resolve itself in time. Brown bringing more fighters, but again, the northern team has done a great job keeping, especially the southeast, from being able to expand or be comfortable at all on this map. Keeping EXE, like, triple teaming EXE early on, and now with that beautiful Reaper push by Lemminkainen and Brown with all the fighter micro, making it extremely difficult to expand. And you can see Lemminkainen spreading like a cancer down the southeast corner of the map, and more Reapers coming out of the production line. That is a very scary sight to see. Now on the west side, they have not focused as much energy, and so Bully will push forward, beginning to build defense closer to the middle, but they are definitely keeping the southeastern team on their toes in this situation. EXE scrambling to help Pink, who just feels like he is getting overwhelmed by all of these attacks. And I have to say, this is great teamwork too. Elianos and Lemminkainen, they are staggering their attacks very well. They are working very well together. These two players clearly have played together before. So nice job by the northern team. As you just, the mega map kind of tells the story here, guys. Like, this whole corner of the map has just been decimated. This is sort of a grim scene to see, as now the next push by Lemminkainen. Poor Pink cannot get a break, and EXE doing his best to not only defend his teammate and himself, but also upgrade his eco to T2. Guys, this is a skill. I have to tell you that this is a skill this is what separates a good player from a great player. Because if you're in this situation where you've been harassed into oblivion early on, you know, your teammate right beside you is just about to completely crumble, and you are still having to defend yourself. You have no defenses. Look at this. All he has are a few defenders, which will do almost nothing against these Panthers. But despite all of that, all this pressure, EXE is still taking up to T2 Mohos. You have to find a way if you're behind. It's not enough to just stay alive. You have to win. Not dying isn't good enough in an RTS. You have to have a strategy to actually win the game. And EXE is still taking up his medal, despite the fact that he is getting double and triple teamed this game. Once again, the enemy team totally disrespecting the poor Pink player. They could move down and kill Pink completely. Pink has nothing. But instead, they will focus their attacks on EXE, who with spiders and some Freedom Fighter micro He's going to make his best attempt to hang on here. What a gamer. How is he doing this? He's self-destructing those spiders. This will put out the AoE blasts, the EMP blast. That is very intentional. He's trying to slow down these Reapers as much as possible, but his teammate Eliano's bringing in the close air support. As EXE, oh my god, gonna need some help. Stagnation bringing some Reapers of his own, but this advanced K-Bot lab is almost certainly going to pay the price for his team's negligence. His team should definitely be offering more assistance. With how heavily EXE has been focused this game, this is just brutal to watch, as he will not only lose the advanced K-Bot lab, but he is definitely going to lose the aircraft plant as well, and a lot of his economy. Guys, I have to tell you, at this point in the game, if it were me, I would just give what I have left to a teammate and leave. This is the amount of disrespect the enemy team has shown EXE, focusing him this whole game. It just feels bad. Anyone in this situation who would not be completely tilted into oblivion has some sort of Christ-like patience, because I mean, it looks horrible. Look at this situation. Lemminkainen now, all of his... Oh my god, this is horrible. All of this metal has been upgraded to Mohos. This is what makes Lemminkainen such a fearsome player, especially in these team games. He upgrades his economy faster than anybody. It is impressive. So in addition to Lemminkainen, all of his aggression, he has kept up his macro as well. And I bet if we could look at the eco graph right now, he would be on top. Lemminkainen, such a fearsome player, and targeting EXE with he and Brown really engaging in some bullying tactics against our poor yellow player, who is just trying to make a home. But Brown preventing Stagnation from even counterattacking here. This is a difficult situation. EXE with a nicely timed Mantis. Very well played there by EXE. So, yeah, once again, guys, there is some combat happening in the northwest of the map as well. But nothing nearly as exciting as what's been happening in the southeast. So there's a lot more defense on this side from both teams. And of course, we can't see what defenses Deox was making, but you can just assume that there's something there. As this battle will continue to rage, but this whole area has not been as pillaged as the southeast, as the southern team struggling to just hold on. Stagnation sending some support. Now, I will say, Stagnation has done a decent job with, look at all these immolators, pretty impressive. Stagnation has done a decent job of defending his own position. So the middle is somewhat secure, not completely secure. We could have some air defense, would be some pulverizers or flak. Might be nice there. But overall, this should be a fine defensive position, at least for now. But there is almost no defense here in the southeast, as this battleground has been raging. The fight has been raging here. As I said, not enough air defense in the middle, but green now building some. Let's not count out Stagnation. He's a great player, and he's been doing it for a long, long time. Most of the players in this game are the what we call TRP style, the Rat Pack. These players, many of them have been playing this game for probably 25 years or more. So these are extremely experienced players. This is by no means a casual 5v5. This is about as sweaty a 5v5 as they get. Everyone trying their hardest, especially EXE, who, what the heck? What are you doing, EXE? EXE has decided that his answer to this situation is to just rush T3. I don't know how he's come to that conclusion. I think once you've been abused enough, you know, you sort of just snap, right? Like mentally, you just sort of kind of go into a depression, and you just start doing things that make no sense to sort of snap yourself out of it. But Stagnation's got to be careful. Lemminkainen, nicely timed Reaper push. And Green doesn't really seem to be paying attention to this. Those units were not positioned well at all, and Lemminkainen will pick most of those up without any recourse at all. But Lemminkainen already on T3. Oh my god, playing against this guy in a 5v5 is a disgusting sort of proposition, because he is so good at getting to T3 very quickly. And but he doesn't do it in a way that a lot of players do, which is that they skip building anything else. They just go to T3 and they screw their team in the process. Like, they rush T3 and everyone else has to pick up the slack for them. Lemminkainen can get to T3 and also continue building units. He's got a good game sense. He will continue to contribute, and he doesn't just rush to T3 at inappropriate times. This was definitely a good time, because he was already... He knows the South has been decimated by the constant attacks of he and Elianos. This is and he has the best eco in the game, I can almost guarantee you right now. So this is a great time to go to T3. Now building the Blaze. The Blaze is a unit. The Blaze and the Recon are units that have been talked about quite a bit in this patch. In the Discord, so there's been a lot of chat among the players about these units, because the Blaze and the Recon are a T3 early rating vehicle. Wow, that was a mouthful. So what these do is, their role is to be fast and deadly. That's essentially it. You try to build a squad of these and get into the enemy base and wreck their economy. It is a T3 rating unit, but the reason there's been so much discussion is because they have a lot of health. Typically rating units are thought of as kind of glass cannons, similar to, say, the Maverick. But people are wondering if maybe the Recon and the Blaze just has way too much health, as these things been absolutely owning as they were buffed in the current patch 997. So they've been seeing a lot of use, and we will look forward to seeing how they are used in this game as well. But Pink with a push, but I think Lemminkainen is ready for this, building his little army of blazes as the battle begins to rage in the southwest, or just kind of the west of the map. So here in the west, it's been much closer, as both sides have made some decent trades with one another. But now, Brown with some well-placed Lugers. Now here is the advantage of building emulators, guys. The emulators have an open and closed state. When the emulator is closed, they get like a massive amount of damage reduction. So even Lugers, it will take a lifetime to break through this defensive line. I think Brown is going to need much, much more than that. But hold that thought, because finally, Lemminkainen, he is tired of waiting around. He is going to put these blazes to the test and see if they are truly as overpowered as what everybody has been saying. They certainly feel a little overpowered. Look how fast these monsters are. driving down the field at a rapid pace. Oh yeah, EXE already telling his team right side, calling for help, warning everybody the attack is incoming. These insanely fast and powerful flamer vehicles looking like something out of a post-apocalyptic Mad Max movie. The only thing we need are crazy-looking, skin-headed, pale people riding them and throwing spears off the sides into unsuspecting mexes and units. Oh my god, EXE! Oh, a nice D-gun there, but these things will roast him almost immediately. Using the nano blocking, I can't believe EXE survived that. I want to click on his name and check the health, but I'm afraid it would crash the replay, so we can assume EXE was probably in the red there after that attack, barely surviving with some nice D-gunning and nano blocking right there, but once again, Lemminkainen showing nothing but disrespect. Or you could say respect. I mean, Lemminkainen showing extreme respect for EXE as he focuses him completely. He could have easily come down here and just gone straight into Pink's base, killed all of his stuff. But no, EXE is definitely seen as the bigger threat, as Brown continuing his push of Lugers, now sending some Mavericks. But guys, these immolators, I've already said in previous casts, they are so goated. So goated are these immolators. The Mavericks don't even stand a chance. And I will say, Stagnation doing a good job with his defense, using these diplomats and Lugers of his own to get a lot of damage done to the raiding and attacking force of our Brown player. So nice job by Stagnation, showing us how to mount an effective defense. His immolators all still very healthy. As that first attack of Blazes came razor close to just killing EXE outright, but with some perfectly timed and perfectly positioned D-guns, he will stay in the game. He's now on T3 and building some mantle extractors as well, but again, relying on his teammates now to defend the entrance to his base. I will say they're doing a decent job of it. Stagnation has blocked this off, and Pink with a lot of cans there at that position. But now Lemminkainen building the mammoth, this absolute tanky beast of a unit. Mammoth, I think, is a great word for this unit because it will be quite difficult to kill at this phase of the game. The Southern team does not really have any T3 units to stop this, and the Mammoth has something like 10 billion health. What a tank. And kind of keeping the pressure on with Brown, and again, the Northern team knows this is the weak spot. This is where they need to focus their attacks to break through, putting pressure on the wound that they have already created. Now Walker attempting to shoot this immolator, but you can see it's taking almost no damage from the shooters. These immolators are nothing if not tanky. Now the reason that the shooters are not being focused more is because they do not appear on radar when they're upgraded now. So these will have to be focused fired by Stagnation or given vision. Mammoth's now putting pressure on the southeastern corner. The battle continues to rage in the west. This battle has been much closer, and of course both sides have created a nice defensive line, so it will be extremely difficult to break through on the T2 phase. Yeah, EXE saying in the chat, does not seem we can win. I'm under pressure. So EXE just commenting on the exact thing I've been saying. They have been targeting this man all game. And it's amazing that he's still in this game because he's doing his level best to stay alive. But I'm sure he knows the situation looks absolutely dire. Because, of course, EXE is still alive. But he knows that Lemminkainen is in a great situation, a monstrous economy, building mammoths, and that this tide is only going to get worse as time goes on. This is not going to get better. That is one of the things about escalation. Even in a big team game, it's true in a 1v1, but even in a team game, once a team starts to get ahead economically and in terms of tech, it becomes very, very difficult to come from behind. It becomes difficult to find a way back into the game when someone is this far ahead of you. Of course, we can't see the economic statistics, so we don't know exactly how far ahead the northern team is, but I can guarantee you Lemminkainen in particular doing very, very well. And see, this is what EXE is worried about. That Brown is making an Aurora, the infamous ARM T3 nuclear bomber, which I do love so much. It's my favorite escalation unit by far. Not even a contest. I love the Aurora. So this is what EXE is worried about, that like they're so far behind that the North is building game-ending units. And look at this mammoth tanking the fire of 10 million cans. It doesn't even matter. Oh my goodness. This is just disgusting to watch, this mammoth. Oh my god, is Pink even going to kill it? Oh, he's nano-blocking. Lemminkainen attempting the nano-block, trying to keep that mammoth alive. I think Pink may kill it just in time before it gets out. And now this one has been surrounded, so... yeah, Eliana is perhaps... excuse me, Lemminkainen... not with the best micro there. Maybe he should have just sacrificed that one mammoth instead of losing both of them. So it's now being surrounded, as you can see, kind of trapped there. Surrounded by... that was a decent job by Pink. I have to give a Deus Ex Machina some credit. That is some nice micro, as that second mammoth will definitely go down. But let's pay attention to what is happening the rest of the map. As it does seem that Stagnation's defense has started to take some punishment from the northern team, but they still have a lot to chew through. There are plenty of immolators left on the field and air defense as well. But hold that thought, because Brown now with some T2 bombers trying to push the knife into the wound, trying to win the game, as this southeast corner of the map has truly been the site of scorched earth. But one thing I think EXE is wrong. Brown did not go into T3 air, though he probably should have. I think EXE was right. If Elianos had gone into Auroras, he could maybe just end the game. There's nowhere near the amount of air defense. There's almost no air defense at all down here. EXE has had to sacrifice building air defense to hang on. So guys, when you're behind, you have to take risks. It's the only way to stay in the game. Any good player knows this. If you're behind, you cannot play, you cannot defend yourself against everything. You have to make some risks and take some sacrifices in order to to survive and to try to equalize yourself. And so the sacrifice EXE has made is that he's not built any air defense at all. His concern is that if our brown player had gone into Auroras, they could have just killed him, and they could have just bombed his base into the Stone Age yet again, but fortunately for EXE, brown did not do that. He does, however, have some phoenixes flying around the map, getting some damage done, but once again, the game very close, at least on the west side. And on the east side, at least in the southeast, starting to stabilize as EXE will begin to build a Gorgon. The Gorgon, the ARM T3 walking shockwave K-bot. It is just kind of a slow-moving harbinger of death. Let's check out the player bases. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Purple now building Novas, and I think Novas in this game are a good choice. The Nova is essentially the T3 walking Bertha. I've complained about these in the past. I've said they're useless, but I think they've been buffed enough times now that they're actually a good choice, especially in a game like this that does devolve into trench warfare. If you can get enough Novas, you can start to break through your opponent's defenses and base extremely rapidly. So I think that's a good choice. I think Novas could work if purple gets enough of them. Bully building looks like Marauders at the moment. What's green doing? Green's still on T2. I don't know about that stagnation. I think it's time to get to T3. If EXE can get to T3 in this tiny corner of the map, so can you, my friend. But here in pink is also getting to T3 as well. So guys, you can already see, just by taking a small look at the player bases, the northern team is way ahead. Like, it seemed like all 5 of them are on T3, but here in the south, it looks like only EXE and one other player on T3. So I'm sure if we could look right now, the northern team would be economically pretty far ahead, as those early attacks, especially on the southeast side, definitely done their job. And stagnation, he will send an attack. A small group of upgraded Goliaths north, but I don't think these are going to get much accomplished. Of course, there's not a huge amount of defense here. There could certainly be more. But 5 Goliaths at this stage of the game, it's really not going to be enough, as Walker brings down the first Nova of the match. And like I said, the Novas, nothing to scoff at. I'd really like Walker to keep building them, just stay on Nova production. If he could get like 5 to 10 of these monstrous, like I said, T3 walking Berthas, he could just begin to absolutely shred Stagnation's defensive line and destroy it without much resistance at all. Because guys, the way the Nova works is they start out relatively inaccurate, but the more kills they get, the more accurate they become, and then gets to a point where they just start sniping your base from half the map away. It is quite a disgusting sight to see. But speaking of disgusting sights to see, lots of action here in the west as Bulldogs and Fidos clash with the background. Nice squad of Mortys, but again, neither side really making much headway here in the west. It's been very even the entire game. As Brown brings a Chimera down to join Orange's Mammoths. Now, Orange, remember, lost 2 Mammoths earlier from a little bit of bad decisions, I think. Definitely could have kept those alive if he had been a little more careful and supported them. But Lemminkainen is on the Mammoth game plan. It just seems to be what he wants to do this game. As clearly Deox has built something here in the middle. We can't know for sure what it is exactly that Lemminkainen is fighting. But again, guys, this will resolve itself soon. Right now, use your imagination. Deox has something here. Some kind of probably T3 raiding force. And the northern team is now bombing it and mammothing it into oblivion. So whatever Deox was doing, I can almost guarantee you it isn't working that efficiently. As the northern team certainly in a dominant position this game. More bombing runs coming down. Have you ever had to watch a cast where I ask you to use your imagination? Decide what it is that is being shot at here. What is Deox sending? You will never truly know. Never truly know, but nonetheless, the northern team clearly has more than enough to stop it. And these bombers and Chimera, and of course the Mammoths as well. And the thing about the Mammoths that makes them so fearsome is that in addition to massive amount of health that they have and the high DPS, have a decent range as well. I kind of think of them as like T3 sumos. The sumo is of course a K-bot, but these feel treaded. They can easily outrange the light laser towers and the immolators, no problem. And with goalies sending down some actual sumos to help, and these mammoths are all very healthy. It seems that the northern team is now trying a new tactic, finally leaving EXE alone for a minute and moving down the western side instead, maybe targeting Deox. Deoxide is, of course, very well known as a player for his skill. So that could make a good target. Here in pink, Deus Ex Machina sending force forward a can attack. But I don't think it will get too much accomplished as Lemminkainen is ready for this. A battle between Marauders and Mammoth. There's quite a few Marauders. Could it be enough to stop this? The Sumos have been pushed back, so the Mammoths do not have any more support. And we also don't see what Deox is sending against the Mammoth either. So once again, use your imagination, my friends. I'm asking you to create in your mind what army that Deox is making. But I mentioned before that amphibious units could play a role this game, and indeed they have, as Brown has been building up an army of Tritons probably the last 15 or so minutes. And these will now move through the pawns. But, oh, nice job by Pink. He's built a Dragon's Teeth wall to stop this from happening. And with EXE's Gorgon on the field, sending out those EMP shockwaves of doom, I think this Triton attack is going to fall flat on its face. This is not going to work. Very, very well-timed Gorgon by EXE, and the wall. Wow, this is such a cheap way to defend your base from this. Brown attempting it, but an extremely well-designed defense. And look at this Gorgon. Oh man, it's like, it's happier than a pig in the mud. It's just walking around, decimating all of these Tritons and not even really taking damage. This thing is just so happy right now. It's doing what it was designed to do. How fortunate we could all be if we could live up to our purpose to the same degree as this Gorgon. This is absolutely disgusting to watch as these poor Tritons will be sent into the afterlife without much ceremony whatsoever. But Lemminkainen looks like he did have a Bertha. Oh, there it is. He does have that Intimidator. So Light Green also has a Bertha, so 2 LRPCs in the north. You do expect that in a game like this, both teams will begin creating LRPCs. The Gorgon continuing to push forward, and I think it will take out this base without much trouble whatsoever. Liana is doing his best to bomb this Gorgon, but this was very well timed by EXE, and of course, I can guarantee it has full veterancy already, so it will start chunking everything. Of course, the Mammoth has enough health to maybe withstand it. So this Gorgon will die. It's just kind of a question of how much damage can EXE do before it does finally groan and creak and come to a halt. Getting a little bit stuck in the water here. This Gorgon is now below half health, but if EXE could move it northeast, get to this Ultra Vehicle plant and take that out, it would absolutely be worth its weight in gold, but I don't think EXE will find that. Gorgon is now way too low, and with a final wave, bombers have to think that this Gorgon, it has served its purpose well. Unfortunately, not getting as much done as perhaps EXE would have liked. Now more recons moving down the field. I did mention this earlier, that the recons would have an impact in the game. So once again, can't see what Deox is doing exactly. But we see that Brown is sending down large squadrons of recons as action is happening all over the map. Oh no. Oh no. Green targeting Walker's commander. He's found him. Does Walker have enough air defense? No, he does not. Walker will be our first ejection from the game, as Green found the vulnerable spot. He found the one opportunity, as Recon's now moving into poor Deox's base. Uh-oh, what's going on with the replay? Please don't break on me. Alright guys, the replay for now is stopped, but I'm hoping it can recover. It did recover before. I'm hoping we can get past this, or if not, we can find another way. Ah, we are recovering. There's movement. There's life. The CPR worked. Oh my god, guys, I was panicking here. The amount of things I had to do to get this to work was insane. I thought for sure we were in a situation where the whole thing was going to break, but no. Using CPR, using the EKG, the heart begins to beat again. Signs of life. EXE telling stagnation. Nice use of rapiers. Nice use of rapiers indeed. Not only sniping Walker's commander, but protecting his teammates' base against all that recon spam. We don't know what's being said in the chat, but I think the outside probably not happy with the current state of things. Much of his base has likely been ravaged by these constant recon attacks. So with Walker dead, it is now technically a 4v5, even though we can't see exactly what Deox is doing. Stagnation has definitely taken a big role in the game, and one flak, I think, would have saved Walker, but Walker did not have flak. He only had the T2 air defense. I don't remember exactly what they're called, the Eviscerator or whatnot. But flaks are what are good against gunships in particular. Brown does have some of these, so Stagnation will be very hard pressed to do the same amount of damage to our Brown player as he did to Walker. Once again, we can't see what Deox is sending here. Clearly has something. Deox may be sending some recons of his own up the north, but whatever it is, Brown is bombing it into oblivion. Once again, my friends, I am asking you to use your imagination. Decide what Deox has built this game. What has he gotten up to? This EXE, after that beautiful attack, with that juggernaut of an EMP storm, now building some, like slowly just kind of teching up. I don't see anything too insane on the horizon. Let's just check the player bases. It's been a moment since we have. I don't see anything extremely worthy of our attention yet, but that may change. Red with a Juggernaut, and it is definitely a Juggernaut style game. I really wanted to see Walker building more of the Centurion, not the Centurions, the Novas. I really wanted to see more Novas. I think that could have been game ending if he had survived long enough to build enough of those. Start shelling the southern team's base into oblivion, but it will be killed unceremoniously as the game will continue. We are now near the hour mark as Lemminkainen finally ready to reassert himself onto the battlefield. An army of Harpies, the T3 core flaming gunship. You can see these are moving around the map. It's like targeting extractors, and now perhaps even heading to Blue's base. These Harpies are a very disgusting unit indeed. And Lemminkainen loves to build them. So, yeah. Guys, as I said, this game has definitely managed to deliver, and we are only halfway through, believe it or not. We still have another half of the game to go. But EXE has built a Raptor. That's what he was working on. I must have missed it. But a well-placed Raptor here, moving up the front line, and Lemminkainen with the Decimator just in time to stop this monster. Man, if it wasn't for that Decimator, I think Lemminkainen would lose most of his base. The Raptor doesn't have much recourse against the Decimator Flying Saucer. With the Disintegration Beam flying over its head, keeping the Raptor busy. EXE doing his best to kind of avoid it. In the meantime, getting almost nothing accomplished. This one decimator stops this Raptor from just moving into Lemonkainen's base. Maybe ending the game. That was way too close. That decimator just finished. If that thing was like 30 seconds later, Lemonkainen probably just would have lost the game. So now that decimator moving south to see what else it can get accomplished. Already it has more than paid for itself. As this is what I was referring to earlier. I said the game would fix itself. Deoxide at some point, I think, taps out and transfers all of his units to EXE. So now we can see what is going on in the southwestern base. As EXE does have control of Deox's old base and old units. Now we have full vision of everything happening on the map. Stagnation moving forward with another army of gunships. What can he get accomplished here? Going for the fusions. Can he get the fusion farm? All he needs to do is kill one and it will go up in a chain reaction. Oh, I was wrong about that. There we go. Maybe if you can kill a second one, but Kainen fast to react with these mechanics, repairing them to prevent this chain reaction. There's really not enough air defense here. As it is nice to be able to see what is actually happening. EXE with some widows here near the middle of the map, but there's so much carnage. As Blue Bully has been building pretty much exclusively bulldogs this whole game. He's just on the bulldog game plan, but it's finally working, I think. Bully has built enough bulldogs to just steamroll Red's base and is finally moving through. As TA Nostalgic with his own army of Centurions, as you can see, this map is like broken open. It has just been constant combat all over the place, and because of the map's design, the defensive lines have completely crumbled as units stream through on both sides, uncontested. Blue just needs to move his bulldogs north. There's very little to stop him. I guess there is a couple immolators, but could maybe win the game with these bulldogs. EXE now controlling two players' bases, and yet another squadron of recons moving down the middle, seeing what damage they can get done. What's EXE's next play? He did build that Raptor, which was fortunately countered by the Decimator, but now these recons could do devastating damage, as they do make it into Green's base. Stagnation has been such an important player for the southern side, using those rapiers to keep his team alive and sending units as well. But now will lose his T3 factory and his T2 vehicle plant. And if he loses his aircraft plants, that will be kind of a game-ending situation for him to be in. These recons are doing absolute work here, almost setting off a chain reaction of energy storages, as I think the southern team will just stop that, but in the meantime pushes through the north. However, Red with a few juggernauts, and Lemonkainen continuing to build those harpies, focus targets of opportunity. This game is absolutely all over the place, and we still have another hour to go, my friends. So this is crazy. The battlefield is just a complete site of chaos and destruction, scorched earth everywhere that we can see. There's hardly any defenses at all. It's just players sending massive groups of T2 and T3 units at one another in visions of glorious carnage. And I have to say, if Stag had not sniped Walker earlier in this game, I think it would already be over. So that snipe of Walker definitely one of the events that has caused this game to stay so close, to keep the Southern team, which has been behind the entire game, to give them a chance of hanging on here. But here's the problem: Lemminkainen keeping up the pressure, even as impressive as these upgraded GATs are, they will do almost nothing against these. Southern team bringing some defense, but will it be enough? Stagnation has just used gunships to such great effect these games, not only sniping Walker, but using them wonderfully defensively. And I'm surprised that Lemminkainen hasn't brought any air defense with this, as much as these gunships have been causing problems. But Bully now building Centurions. He is finally on the Q3 game plan with a nice squadron of cans. How much work can the Mammoths do before they are finally killed by the gunships? It will take a while. Lemminkainen's base has definitely been reduced in size, especially after that Raptor push. But still with a strong economy, he just needs to expand outwards. These Mammoths will be pushed back between EXE and Stagnation. More recons moving down the field. With Juggernauts getting closer and closer to the front. Boy. Struggling desperately to protect his own base here. Seems like in the southwest, the Northern team may have found a weakness. More Harpies flying in. There is a T3 air defense that is able to hit those, but Lemminkainen seems to love these Harpies. The flamethrower gunship, he loves building those. I have seen him win games. I've been sniped by them, but this is beginning to look like a terrifying push by our red player. Moving those Juggernauts closer and closer to Blue's base, and the Juggernaut, it is slow, but it is a terrifying unit. Some more recons stream in to Yellow's base. Again, almost no defenses at all. Struggling to throw up Vipers to protect his production facilities. Recon's now hitting energy storages. And the Harpies coming in too to snipe the Eviscerator. Oh my gosh, this is complete chaos. This is the Southern team doing whatever they can to keep themselves alive, but as these Juggernauts approach the base, I don't know how they're going to hang on here. Lemminkainen with more Harpies targeting that upgrade center. Galactic Gate has been built, but guys, if I didn't know any better, I would say this game is about to end. Juggernauts moving down, Centurions and Mammoths. Holy cow, this is balanced on a razor's edge here. The Southern team, how are they going to stop all of this? The Juggernauts alone, an existential threat. And I mean, the mega map sort of tells the story. The South is in a completely defensive position, trying to hang on for dear life. As the world collapses around them, the walls come caving in. Stagnation. Some more rapiers, but finally Lemminkainen bringing the Skynet into play. Skynet, the court, T3 flying air defense, the air superiority, I don't know what you would call it, the air superiority flying cruiser. As now, last Bully's base in so much trouble. You can see the juggernauts are now hitting. These are juggernaut shots. Thought they were, at least. Either way, Blue is about to lose his base. I think the juggernauts might have been pushed off, but the Centurion's now focusing the Ultra K-Bot assembler. I don't know if there's enough to save this. Yep. What a terrifying situation. Guys, I don't know how the Southern team is supposed to come back from this. EXE has been gifted yet another base. The man is now, it feels like, fighting the entire universe by himself. EXE 1v9. As Blue will leave the game and give all of his stuff to our Russian legend. Can EXE with these Cerberus get a counterattack done? Cerberus are quite powerful, but these Juggernaut and all the cans and everything else that is slowly descending upon the South. This game is unbelievable. I can't believe the Southern team is even still alive. And the favored strategy of our Southern players seems to be to give up and then gift EXE all their stuff. Just say, EXE, you handle this. We give it up to you. We trust in your amazing micro and cheesy strategies to win the game. So EXE carrying the world on his shoulder, but can he do that? As you can see, all of DX's old base is now gone, and this one mammoth, I can't even imagine how many kills it has. Probably like 100 kills. Now taking out Eco. They finally stop it. But good lord, a single Centurion. They just can't kill this either. This entire base has just been cracked open. And EXE attempting a counterattack with the Cerberus, but I don't think it's going to matter. Lemminkainen bringing in the Harpies and the Decimator to stop that push. How is the Southern team even still alive? I don't know. It feels like an impossible situation to be in. There's now 2 players on T3 Air. To be honest with you, I have no idea how EXE is doing this. The man is somehow surviving an impossible situation as Lemminkainen absolutely roasts his base from the sky. Stagnation is now killed as well. It's EXE versus the entire world. How in the world can he hold on for like another 45 minutes? This just doesn't seem possible. Most of EXE's base is gone. It's just pink now. But I do have to say, Deus Ex Machina, no slouch. That is a lot of cans, my friends. That is more cans than you ever want to see. Slowly waddling towards your base. But yeah, I have to say, they have been targeting EXE this entire game. Oh my god! Look at all the Vipers here. That is quite an impressive line. Can EXE somehow survive this situation? His base has been decimated. It has been cracked open by the enemy team. This, oh my god, this is just such a dire situation to be in. As Dioxide is kicked from the game. Uh-oh. Says I was kicked from the game too. Hopefully that doesn't crash the replay. It has been very difficult to get to this point, my friends. I hope that the replay doesn't crash. We are this far into the action. EXE holding on for dear life. The Southern team in a basically impossible situation. There's no way that this game can drag on for another 45 minutes. I don't believe it. Lemminkainen with complete control of the sky. The Southern team without even a single aircraft anywhere. But look at all the fusions. Look at this SimCity. Oh, look at this. Look at the beautiful flags. And the lines, the rows of defenders. This is just a beautifully designed base with the whiplashes. Very aesthetically pleasing. But can Pink get anything done against all these recons? As I said, recon's going to play a big role in this game, and I think they certainly have. Holding off this attack feels like with ease. Now, Lemminkainen going to T3 vehicles as well. Is that even necessary, sir? Of course, Lemminkainen was on T3 vehicles before, and then transitioned into air. And now going back to vehicles. A few cans will make it through the west side, and will kill this mantle extractor without too much difficulty. The cans are finally breaking through. The recon struggling to hold. There is a single Doomsday machine. As you can tell, Lemminkainen has been desperately throwing them up. But as far as EXE's base, I mean, this was EXE's original base. Everything else he's just inherited from his teammates that simply gave up and threw it to him. This mantle extractor was just ignored. It's at one hit. It's kind of sad if that survives. In this patch, the closed state of the metal extractors has been buffed quite a bit. So they do become a lot tankier. And Lemminkainen does seem to know this. But Pink has officially broken through here. He's now getting to the Doomsday machine. And where is Orange's Air? Lemminkainen just a few seconds ago had Decimators and Harpies. Why did he stop building them? I guess there is Mantis in this army. Maybe Pink took all that out. Is this actually going to work? Just cans and Mantis. Oh, no T3. Just, you know, the most basic of a T2 push. How much can it possibly get done here? It seems like it does seem like Lemminkainen will stop it before it can get at least T3 aircraft facility. Those Mantis are hitting the advanced construction planes and causing them to go up in large numbers. But more cans streaming in. Where are these even coming from? Holy cow. What is going on in this game? I've never seen something like that. I've never casted something like this. Oh, this is a monolith buffed Doomsday machine. I'm going to tell you, my friends, I didn't even know such a thing was possible. This is like a Doomsday machine on crack cocaine. This thing has been eating its Wheaties. That's unbelievable. How come we didn't do this before? A Doomsday machine with a monolith. Oh my god. And now EXE with this shenanigans. I don't know what else to call it. This is just funny. Like, the Maginot line of Orion's here. He's got to protect his base. As Pink was able to do some decent damage, but unfortunately not really getting to the crucial structures. As we're in the phase of the game after like an hour and 20 minutes. I don't think cans are really the answer anymore. Pink needs to do something much more more interesting if he wants to break into the northern team's base, especially with all these Talos patrolling around. And now the Vulcan almost complete, but EXE is sending a Cerberus in with all these units. I have to say the best thing that Pink has done here is not the cans, it's the Mantis. The Mantis have protected the cans. Orange has had complete control of the sky for basically the entire game, but all these Mantis have given him this opportunity to actually be able to push without Lemminkainen just building a single decimator and taking out the entire army. Of course, Lemminkainen will build another decimator, but there's probably enough Mantis here to kill it. It won't happen instantly, but the issue is this. What the hell? Do you guys see this? It's firing a blue laser like every second. No, it's like every half second. What is this thing? This is a monolith buffed DDM. It shouldn't be so strong. Wotan, what have you done? This is an absolute disgrace. Yeah, the DDMs. Yeah, I think that's gonna stop these pushes. Well, the Cerberus may be able to kill the one in the front, but the one in the back is the bigger problem, and now a Bastion has been added to the defensive line here. So I don't see this push working anymore, as Red slowly doing his own push down the southwest corner of the map. And can EXE, oh no, with an Empyrean, can EXE with an Empyrean do the impossible? Can he stop the impossible? Can he carry the game on his teammates, or can his teammates get into his backpack? He must carry them, because they have just gifted him all their units and left the game in shame, not even bothering to take out a samurai sword and basically hide their embarrassment to the world. Oh my god, that's a lot of stuff. And what is all the mites about? What are these? Guys, if you don't know, the Mite doesn't have a gun. These are just these reclaim. So Red may be wanting to go on some kind of reclaim mission down here. I couldn't really tell you. This is a very interesting composition. I never thought I'd say mites and cans and Talos army. That's quite interesting for sure. I just don't understand. You only really need one to reclaim all this. You don't need like 50. But EXE, holy cow, he's got some annihilators, but he needs to build. Yeah, he needs to build his own structure. The booster there, double or triple the annihilator's rate of fire, and also, oh my god, this is awesome. This is like a tower defense game now. Look at all the cans. And now Centurions as well, moving in to help. And up here somewhere, what happened to this? EXE, you need to use the Empyrean to defend. No sir, please don't send it up to their base. You have to defend, sir. Look at all these Orions. This is crazy. What is happening? Oh my god, are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? This game has been absolutely just catastrophizing, insane, chaotic, use whatever term. EXE now bringing Harpies into the mix, taking a page out of Lemminkainen's book, but the Talos can shoot air, and oh my god, these cans are breaking through this one annihilator. Nowhere near enough, as finally Deus Ex Machina will have to send his own force to help EXE, as a decimator does fly into his base and start taking out air defenses. Can the single Empyrean get anything done? I mean, Empyreans are strong, okay? They're like a T-3.5 vehicle for arm, but are they strong enough? Now the recon's breaking through EXE's base. desperately holding on with Harpies and with Pink's assistance. Can they save this Ultra Vehicle plant? It's going to be close. There's no way they can save this, right? We've got Talos still moving in. The Recons, which are getting roasted. Oh my god, I think they're going to save that. How are they doing this? The single Empyrean protected with Scorpion, so EXE does have his bases covered. At least a little bit. This Decimator, it will kill those Scorpions before they can take it out, and now this Empyrean is unprotected. Decimator with just a smidgen of health is going to be able to kill this in no time flat. That is quite unfortunate. If a Decimator had died, the Empyrean would have done a lot better, but even still, I don't think it was ever going to make it to the enemy side without support. Even these big T3 units need support, guys. It's rarely the case that you can just send one unit into the enemy base and win. It does sometimes happen. Juggernaut is killed. So much action happening. EXE desperately trying to rebuild the defenses. Pink helping out, but now they are just in a tiny corner of the map. All they have left is a hope and a prayer that everyone on the northern team disconnects simultaneously so that maybe they have a chance of coming back. Man, this is such a beautifully designed base, but what's the plan here? How do you get out of this situation? I have to give credit to Pink. He has certainly been macroing well, pumping out tons of units. I'd like to see more T3 units. I'd like to see more than just Cans and Mantis, but Cans and Mantis better than nothing, of course. If that's all we can get, maybe that's enough. At least for now. Northern team with their own Empyrean. Let's see what else is happening. Trying to keep an eye on the player bases. See if anyone moves to T4. Try to end this game once and for all. As EXE and Deus Ex Machina putting up a hell of a fight against 4 players with whose eco is no doubt stronger. It's undoubtedly better. How is this game still going? This is unbelievable. Pink making Cans and Pyros look overpowered at an hour and 30 minutes into the game. Surrounding that research center with metal storages. Interesting choice. I think we'll find an undefended mantle extractor as having failed to push up the right side or the east side of the map. Now changing tacks. Moving up the left side. And I have to tell you, there's not a ton of defense here. There is, however, a Krogoth. That will probably be more than enough, I would think, to stop all these Cans from rampaging into the northwestern base up there. But yeah, this is impressive. The southern team not even attempting to push west, really. Look at all the corpses, all this free juicy metal. And again, I have to say, one of the best things that Pink is doing here is including all of these Mantis in the mix, making it so much harder for Lemminkainen to simply fly in and kill Pink's army with Harpies or Decimators. The Empyrean now making it to the south. EXE did have one of these, but didn't support it. We'll see if Dark Green can support it better. What is with all of these mites? I don't understand the might strategy. I'm going to have to tell you. It doesn't make sense. But there is a Krogoth here heading off the pass. And I think even all of these units are going to struggle against a well-timed Krogoth. An ambassador. I think this is the walking galactic gate. Oh, hold that thought. EXE has been building up an air force. He is now ready for his attack, even bringing a jammer with it. But can he kill the air defense fast enough? He does take out one eviscerator, doesn't quite kill that one, but he's going to give it up. He's going to instead focus on killing as much eco as he can before all the steam runs out. He gets quite a few fusions, only 7 or 8 in that group. If he had just spent a couple more seconds on that eviscerator, I think he could have even gotten these. But oh no, the friendly fire. Why is the Bastion shooting at these? Holy cow, I thought that Bastion was going to take those out. But now the Empyrean getting surrounded, which is the exact situation you want to avoid. The Empyrean is kind of like a T3 land battleship. Definitely want to prevent the enemy from surrounding it. Use it from range. Overwhelm your enemy with long-range firepower if you can. But Pink with a beautiful flank, bringing units from everywhere. Pink has been doing this all game, and it's been really impressive. Deus Ex Machina surrounding far superior forces. Even being surrounded, this Empyrean, such a beast. Armed with more recons. Flames, excuse me, moving down the east side. Can he get anything done? EXE with an impressive amount of defense here. Nope. Orange will just say, retreat, retreat, everybody run. That's not gonna work. And I think I missed it because I was watching the recon retreat there. I think what happened was Dark Green self-destructed. I think Dark Green self-destructed that. Oh shoot, words are failing me. What was the name of that? The T3 land battleship. He knew it wasn't going to survive, so he just self-destructed it, taking out as many cans and mantis as possible. Yeah, forgive me for I can't remember the name. Guys, I am getting tired. This game has been going on for nearly 2 hours. 2 hours of casting. What an epic match it is. It has been, though. It has been everything I hoped for and more. Guys, this will probably be the last 5v5 game I will ever cast. I can't even promise that I'll make another 5v5 game work. It took me so many hours and so much effort to get this replay to work. I literally had to like spawn into, there's 10 different positions I could spawn into. I had to spawn into a particular position randomly out of 10 for the thing to work. And then if it crashed, I had to do it again. Like, so you kind of use your imagination, right? I'm just restarting the replay over and over until I get the right position because I have no control over it. EXE with the Skynet, though, up here causing frustration. Unfortunately, it doesn't have much ability to target fusions. But yeah, guys, this may be a one-time thing, but I think it was worth all the effort. It was worth all of the heartache I had to go through to make this game work. It would be so awesome if we could add official support for 5v5 so that I could start casting these more regularly. But now, Gully going to T4. They are tired of messing around with the southern team. EXE and Deus Ex Machina have been putting up an impressive fight, but I think the northern team probably starting to get a little bit sick of their resilience. More recons moving through as these Cerberus desperately struggling to defend this. The defenses have all been leveled. And the recons can try to surround the Cerberus, but I don't think that's going to really do enough. Once again, ignoring this Ultra vehicle plant, which I think these could have easily killed in favor of the Ultra, or the heavy fusion reactor. A Demolisher here as well, adding fire support to the mix, but a single Vulcan has been built, and now Blazes moving into the southern base. They haven't, again, they haven't been targeting this Ultra vehicle plant, which I don't quite understand. This thing, I think, has been dead several times over by now. The enemy team just focus it. It will finally die. But this is starting to look like the beginning of the end for the southern team. I don't see a way back from this. Economically, they are so far behind. They just have a tiny corner of the map compared to the northern team that has a huge portion of the map. And now on T4, building something terrifying, I'm sure. But EXE with just a beautifully valiant defense, and now building a Vindicator. Could that be enough here to break into Lemminkainen's base? I don't actually know. Vindicator with a couple Skynets may be enough. I don't know. This is a Hail Mary play. If EXE can do this, he's an absolute god, and that would be the most amazing comeback in TA history, probably, at this point. To be able to pull something like that off in such a desperate and seemingly unwinnable situation for the southern team, who valiantly, as valiantly as they have fought, it just feels like they are in a unwinnable position. But don't count EXE out. I've said it before. Do not count him out. Who knows what could happen? The game could get to the weird things could happen at T3 and T4. You just never really know what to expect, which is one of the reasons it's so fun to cast. At this phase of the game, it is just a sort of like the Twilight Zone. It's anybody's guess what will happen next. A lot of this stuff is truly so experimental that you hardly ever see it. Like, even the players hardly ever build a lot of the super late game units and structures. But Pink continuing the assembly line of T2 units, and it has been surprisingly effective. I'm truly amazed that he's gotten so much accomplished with Cans and Mantis. But EXE has moved up now with this Vindicator. Fortunately, I don't think it's going to work because, well, it does take out a huge heavy fusion or antimatter reactor. So he gets something accomplished, but unfortunately, Lemminkainen was ready for that attempt. I think it was a good idea, but yeah, I don't know. It's crazy that they're still holding on like this. More mammoths moving down the field. Now Krogoths. And of course, Vulcans. Dark green now working on T4 as well. Let's check out what red is doing. Oh, he's just building these experimental construction K-bots. These could work. We'll see what he wants to do with it. Vulcan and a big Bertha. Oh, and a Centaur. So Brown was already on T4 way back here. Tons of experimental construction vehicles and construction aircraft pumping out Centaurs, which I believe were buffed in the latest patch. The Centaur has been called the Super Fido. It is just like a Fido with literally 100 times the amount of health and damage, probably. So yeah, these are always fun to see. They're pretty fast. Most T4 units are kind of slow. So Fidos, that is one advantage. They are relatively fast for a T4 unit, which is definitely decent in this kind of game where the distance between the player bases can be somewhat daunting. And now with the Krogoths in the mix and the Empyrean and the Fido, Super Fido, shooting out waves, light blue lasers. Is this the end for our valiant heroes who have put up such an amazing fight for, I mean, essentially the whole game. The whole game the Southern team has been behind. EXE being mega targeted by the Northern team, but still somehow the last player standing, heat and pink. Is this Centaur taking out pyros and cans like nobody's business. This thing is on a mission for sure. Now pink will have to surround it or try to surround it. Centaur now running. EXE building some of his own decimators. Trying to deal with the Centaur. There's no air defense to be seen. Decimators should be able to kill this very quickly. If you see its health bar at the bottom left, it is evaporating. So even T4 units will struggle against an Independence Day-like flying saucers. And, yeah, that will go down. Nice job by EXE. But ultimately, does it matter? Finally, Red working on a Titan. That is not something you see every day, my friends. Could the Titan be what it takes to finally break into the Southern team's base? Again, I applaud Pink for all of the T2 pushes, but I think nearing the 2-hour mark, I start to wonder whether that is even appropriate anymore. We are way past the T2 phase of the game. More defenses being constructed. EXE attempting to push out to the west. Doing what you can here to stay in the game, to do anything. But it sort of feels like the walls are closing in. It's the Krogoth and the Empyreans. And Mammoths as well. And the funny thing is, I think the Northern team could have just built a nuke at any point. Had just nuked the Southern team's base. I've never seen an anti-nuke this game, so guys, don't forget to build nukes. You see them quite a bit in Pro TA. Of course, on Pro TA, nukes are T2, so I think with nukes being at T3 and Escalation, people do tend to forget about them, but nukes are game enders, and they always have been in the TA universe. So do not forget about them. But now with these Krogoths I think all of Pink's T2 pushes are going to come to a close. This thing can take on essentially an infinite number of T2 army. As you can see, its weapons have an AoE effect. So it shoots out these like plasma, some kind of plasma weapon that can kill entire armies. EXE bringing the decimators to try to stop the Krogoths. As you can see, he does kill them very quickly. He's got 3 of them. And where's the anti-air defense? Finally, some Scorpions making it to the front. But can they kill the decimators quickly enough? That I don't know. This Krogoth's already low. This Krogoth about to die. So EXE did get the damage done. This core, 2 cores, or excuse me, Titans. 2 Titans slowly waddling down the map. Can the southern team somehow stop those? That would be a sight to see. I mean, again, we don't see those beasts every day. That is a pretty rare treat as this game enters even the late T4 phase, nearing the 2-hour mark. This Krogoth will make it to the front line, but it's already been badly damaged. However, the Centaur is full health. Do they have enough to stop the Centaur? I don't think they do. That it's so hard to kill, and I don't see any answers. There is a single Demolisher and a Raptor, but the Centaur can even beat a Raptor. Remember, the Centaur is T4. Raptor only T3. This one Centaur may be game-ending. Can they stop it? Southern team, I think, at this point has no hope of winning. They just have to hang on as long as they possibly can. Centaur starting to take some damage, losing about 1/3 of its health. The Raptor moving into range. There are 3 Annihilators. Focus firing. A couple Berthas as well. But again, the Centaur will beat the Raptor, even badly damaged. Centaur. Oh my god, it will win the fight with a sliver of health left. Die in the process, but now another Krogoth moving in. We are truly in the late game. The late game tower defense mode for EXE. Deus Ex Machina. Another Decimator coming in. How are they doing this? Achieving the impossible, but oh no, EXE has stopped microing this, and all the Scorpions will kill that almost instantly. As this one Krogoth may be enough to rampage through their base here, kill everything that's left. They are running out of defenses. They're running out of meat shields. As finally, Pink will crumble. But EXE is still in the game, and I'd like to see these 3 Titans participate before it ends. I would love to see the Titans actually unleash their weapons on EXE, who has stood strong throughout this entire game, getting bullied from the first minute, and yet now he is the final player left. So true tenacity here in our Russian legend. This game, one for the ages. It has been so hilarious. This is what the 5v5s can be. It's unfortunate I can't cast them more because it's amazing I could even get this replay to work at all. If I'm being honest, like, it shouldn't have even worked. The replay, or the replay actually crashed several times during this cast, and I've had to restart it. So it has been a struggle to even bring this game to you guys Remember, for the first half, Deox was an invisible player. You had to use your imagination about what he was building. That is the kind of links we've gone through to watch this game, but it has absolutely delivered. It's these recons now making it into the back of EXE's base. It is only a matter of time now. EXE bringing his commander. Trying to get some D-gun action. Bringing a Harpy as well. But with the Titans reaching the front line, let's see what these T4 monsters can do. Holy cow. They sort of feel like super Krogoths to me. They have a head laser, but unlike the Krogoth, it just never stops firing. There's a Gatling blue laser of death. And of course, they have more health than ever possibly kill in 10 lifetimes. At least if you're EXE. Look at these Titans. They're not even taking damage. Truly a game-ending unit. EXE being put upon on all sides. Centaur now in the east. These Titans. I actually don't know if they can walk over Dragon's Teeth or not. It would be kind of funny if a small Dragon's Teeth wall was enough to stop these. But, yeah, I don't think there's enough Harpies in the world to stop this push. These Titans have made it to the front. EXE clinging to whatever hope he has left. 2-hour game this has been. And what a banger. Maybe EXE can cloak his commander and D-gun some of the Titans. Wouldn't that be a show? We're not quite sure where EXE's commander is. Oh, no, he's hidden. So we can't quite see where he's hiding at the moment, but it doesn't really matter. Even an upgraded commander is going to struggle here. There's this commander. EXE finally killed. So guys, what a game that was. That was definitely worth all of the trouble I had to go through to cast it. The first and maybe only 5v5 I ever cast on my channel. But I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next cast.